Hello and welcome to today's webinar. In this session, we're diving into one of the new additions to Sage 50 accounts, and that is Sage Expenses. This powerful, fully integrated expense management tool is now included in your Sage 50 subscription, giving you instant access to faster, simpler, and more accurate expense handling. We'll show you what Sage Expenses is, how it works, and how quickly you can get started. If you're currently relying on spreadsheets, paper receipts, or slow manual processes, this is a big upgrade, and that will save you time and reduce errors from day one. So today's session will run for around 45 minutes, depending on how many questions we have outstanding at the end. I do have some colleagues on hand to answer your questions today, so please do bear with us on the question front, and we'll try and answer as many as we can. My name is Abby and I'm a learning facilitator here at Sage. I'm joined today by Tyler, a product specialist for Sage Expenses, who will be showing you the mobile app journey. Okay, so to kick things off, we're going to look at some of the most common challenges businesses face when managing expenses manually. Then we're going to delve into what is Sage Expenses, things to consider, and then we'll go into the demonstration. So we're going to be looking at onboarding in the 50 accounts. We'll then move into the web app, setting that up, looking at how the web app works and how the mobile app works. And then we'll also then cover how it posts into your 50 accounts software. And then towards the end, we'll summarize the session. Okay, so common expense management challenges. So these challenges come up again and again, whether you're submitting expenses for yourself or managing them for a whole team. So let's take a look at the most common difficulties businesses face when processing expenses manually. So manual processing can be time consuming. So for admins, juggling spreadsheets and paper receipts is slow, error prone, and becoming overwhelming as your team grows. If you're an employee, collecting and submitting, everything takes longer than it should. Hard to see what's happening in real time. So by the time expenses are reviewed, the information can be weeks out of date, making it difficult to manage cash flow or spot issues early. Staying organized, so lost receipts for admins, tax mistakes, mixing personal and business expenses can cause real headaches, and especially at audit time. Employees, remembering to keep receipts safe and submitting them on time isn't always easy. And lastly, not enough time or expertise. So chasing receipts, correcting errors, and manually checking rules absorbs hours of valuable time, especially for businesses without a dedicated finance team. But did you know it takes an average of 20 minutes to process just one manual expense report? So by the time you've checked the receipt, entered the data, and reviewed it, that's a significant chunk of time gone. And 19% of those expense reports contain errors. And those errors often come from simple things: mistyped amounts, missing receipts, or incorrect tax codes. And when errors do happen, it takes another 18 minutes on average to correct them. That's on top of the original processing time, which means manual workflows quickly add up. So even before we talk about automation, you can see how much time and effort gets lost in the manual process alone. And this is exactly the kind of burden Sage Expenses is designed to remove. So what is Sage Expenses? It's a mobile-first, all-in-one expense tool that handles receipts, mileage, per diem, and entertainment, built right into Sage 50 accounts. With the mobile app, employees can snap receipts instantly and submit expenses on the go, whether they're at a client lunch or between meetings. It's fast, simple, and eliminates the risk of lost receipts. Mileage logging is automated and accurate, giving teams on the move an effortless way to track every mile and record journeys without manual calculations. Sage Expenses manages per diem by letting employees claim a fixed daily allowance without needing to submit individual receipts. From quick coffees to client dinners, Sage Expenses keeps entertainment expenses organised and compliant with all the details captured in one place. And lastly, we've got fast approvals, so submitting and approving expenses has never been smoother. Plus real-time Visa and MasterCard transactions built for busy teams that need a quick turnaround and full visibility. So if you're tired of manual data entry, chasing receipts, and dealing with slow or inconsistent approval workflows, you're exactly in the right place. Sage Expenses is a modern, intuitive solution built to automate the entire process, reducing errors, improving accuracy, and saving valuable time for employees, managers, and finance teams alike. It's powerful, simple to use, and deeply integrated with 50 accounts. Okay, well, you might be wondering, well, who is Sage Expenses for? So it might be small businesses. So if you're currently juggling receipts, spreadsheets, or chasing paperwork, Sage Expenses help you simplify expense tracking, staying in control of spending without adding extra admin. For finance teams, it's all about visibility and control. You get clearer insight into who's being spent, improved accuracy, and much faster approval processes. So you can spend less time chasing and more time focusing on the bigger picture. And then for employees, it makes submitting expenses quick, easy, and they can capture receipts on the go, log expenses in seconds, and submit everything without waiting until they're back at their desk. So overall, Sage Expenses connects the whole business, making the process smoother for everyone involved. So you might be wondering, well, what am I going to get out of Sage Expenses? So Sage Expenses comes in two options. So there's two tiers, there's standard and there's premium. And this would apply to all your users across the business, but it gives you the flexibility to upgrade to premium as your business grows. So in your 50 accounts, if you have the variant standard or professional now, and it'll be in Essentials Plus from June. So it's June, it's July now, so that should be in there as well. If you're on a normal Essentials plan, so Essentials Plus is slightly different. So if you're just on Essentials, you can upgrade to Essentials Plus via our sales team, and that will give you access. So if you're not sure which plan you're on, whether you're on Standard, Professional, or Essentials Plus, certain packages, then you can check via your My Sage, and you would just check your Sage invoice, and it will tell you which package you have. So most Sage 50 accounts customers already have standard included, and that comes with 2 users. And we're going to delve more into the users in just a moment, so do hold out for that. If you're on the business package, you will start with premium, and that's including 3 users. It's easy to add more if you need them, whether you're on standard or premium. And because I'm going to talk about them in just a moment, but I will just want you to note that user licenses that you get with your Sage Expenses is completely separate from the users that you have in your 50 accounts. So people who you want to access Sage Expenses don't have to have a user profile in 50 accounts. Okay. But with standard, it's all about keeping expenses simple. It helps your team quickly capture receipts, claim mileage, and submit expenses on the go with a clear, straightforward approvals process. If you're in premium, so premium is for businesses that need more control. It supports complex approvals, gives you better visibility, and pulls in real-time card transactions. So finance teams can stay on top of the spending without chasing paperwork. So in a nutshell, standard keeps things quick and easy. Premium gives you clarity, control, and confidence as your business scales. I'm just going to delve more into the user allowance to give you a bit of an understanding of how it works. Because I realised I forgot to mention the pricing on that one. So if you want additional users, we're going to go through that just now. So if you're on the standard level of Sage Expenses, so you're going to get 2 users free. So let's just say we have Sarah, who's the finance manager. She's the admin and the approver. And then we have Mark, who's one of the sales rep. So them 2 would be included for free. If you wanted to add additional users, it would be, so you would have Joe, who's another sales rep, and Louise. It would then be, for any extra users outside of those 2, it would then be £3 per user a month. Doesn't matter how much they actually process in Sage Expenses, it would still be the standard, the £3 per user per month outside of those 2 included. If you're on premium, you get 3 users included. So we've got Sarah, Mark, and Joe. If you wanted any additional users outside of those 3, it would then be £5 per user per month if you're on premium. So it just depends on which one you're on, whether you're on standard or premium. Depends on the price, so £3 for standard, £5 for premium. Okay, so let's look at onboarding with Sage Expenses in your 50 accounts. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to quickly go through the things to consider before you set up Sage Expenses in your software. Now, don't worry, again, if you're not able to follow live on the webinar within your software, you are going to get a recording of today's demonstration. So you'll be able to go back and rewatch the demonstration as well if you're too busy taking notes and things like that. But before we walk through the onboarding, just want to go through these considerations. So first, you'll need to be on version 33.1 or above of 50 accounts. If you're not sure what version you're using, you can go to help along the top and then into about. Sage Expenses also requires a 64-bit version of Windows, so it's worth confirming that your system meets that requirements as well. And you also must be logged in as manager when you're setting up this process, as the manager level is the only one that would have permissions to be able to set this feature up. So make sure that you're logged in as the manager user. So these checks help ensure everything is ready for a smooth and successful onboarding experience. Okay, so to get started, you need to make sure you're logged in as manager, as this is required for the initial setup. There's 2 ways which you can start the setup process. That's either you go into connected services along the top of your software and then into the Sage Expenses option. Or down the left-hand side of your navigation panel, you can go into apps and add-ons. You find the Sage Expenses tile, click Learn More, and then it'll give you the option to get started. But once you're connected and you've got all your onboarding set up, at that point you'll be able to sync your nominal codes, process your expenses. Obviously, we'll go through the setup process with Tyler on the web app as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the short video demonstration on how to get set up in Sage 50 accounts. If you do have any questions, do pop them through to us, and we'll be able to pick these up as and when.
Connecting Sage 50 accounts to Sage Expenses is simple. Once connected, the Sage Expenses web app can be configured to prepare your users for everyday expense recording. In this video, you'll learn how to connect Sage Expenses to Sage 50 accounts. To get started, from the Connected Services menu, choose Sage Expenses. Alternatively, click Apps and Add-ons, then from the Sage Expenses tile, click Learn More. Now click Get Started. If your company is already connected to a Sage account, the Sage Expenses welcome screen will appear. If it's not yet connected, you'll need to connect your company to a Sage account first. Enter your first name and last name. If this is a Sage 50 Accounts company you're connecting to a Sage account, these details will become an account owner. Click Continue. Your company details are now shown. Check these details are correct. Any changes made here will also update company preferences. Once you're happy, click Continue. You'll now be prompted to log in or create an account. Enter your email address, then click Continue. If a Sage account already exists, enter your password and log in. If not, you'll be guided through creating one. Complete the form, then click Sign Up. You'll be emailed a 6-digit verification code. Enter the code here, then click Continue. If prompted, complete the CAPTCHA security measure. Your company is now connected to a Sage account. To connect your company to Sage Expenses, click Continue. The Sage Expenses welcome screen opens. Once connected, to explore the Sage Expenses web app, click Open. Alternatively, click Close. Sage Expenses can be accessed at any time, from within Sage 50 Accounts or a web browser. To access from Sage 50 Accounts, from the Connected Services menu, choose Sage Expenses. To access from a web browser, go to expenses.sage.com. You can then log in with your Sage account. You can view and change your data sync settings in Sage 50 Accounts. To do this, click Connected Services, then choose Sage Expenses Settings. Expenses are automatically downloaded into Sage 50 Accounts by default, and you can change the frequency of this here. To force a manual sync, click Sync Data Now. To disable the automatic sync, click here. If you no longer wish to sync data, click Disconnect. To confirm any changes, click OK. You've now completed the first step of onboarding. Next, you'll learn how to set up the Sage Expenses web app to prepare your users for everyday expense recording.
Okay, so that is the onboarding process. Before we move on to setting up the web app, I'll introduce you to the user types. So, Sage Expenses, we have two different user types. The first is Administrator. This user will set up Sage Expenses and manage all the settings in the platform, but can also log expenses. The second is the Employee, and this is the end user. This user will be able to log expenses either in the mobile app or the web app. Now, Approver. So the approver is not a separate user, rather than it is a role that you can assign to either administrator or an employee user. So you might want someone to be able to approve expenses, but not change any settings in the admin panel. So what we'll do now is we'll look at the setup process in the web app.
To get set up in the web app, head to Connected Services and then to Sage Expenses. This will launch the web app in your browser. When prompted, log in with your Sage ID. A setup wizard will appear to walk you through the basics to get you set up and able to log expenses. If you wish to set up more advanced settings like departments and reminders, you can do this after the initial setup. The first stage is to select the nominal code that is used to record VAT on purchases. This has selected my default nominal code, but you may need to change this from the drop-down if it's not correct. Next, you need to choose which code is used for payments, whether this be a personal account or credit card. You may use both. To add another, select Add Credit Account and enter the description. And from the drop-down menu, you can either search by number or name of the nominal account. Once you're happy with this stage, you can click to continue. The second stage is where you're going to add your expense categories. So this one will be ticked as default. Again, Sage Expenses will detect which nominal codes it thinks are correct to save you time, but it's always worth checking. If some of these don't apply to you, you can either change the name to something else and select a different nominal code, or you can just delete the unwanted categories by the rubbish icon on the right. Just like the bank accounts, if you wish to add additional categories, select Add Expense Type. Don't worry, you can add these at a later date and I will show you where you can find this option. You will see the option for mileage. If you wish to use the mileage option, tick the box and the section will expand. Again, make sure that the code that has been populated is correct, and if not, change it. Some options are created for you as default. Here you can change the vehicle type, add additional vehicles, or delete the ones that aren't required. These boxes are free type boxes, so if you need to change what is populated, you can change these also to suit your business needs. Once you have completed the category section, click to continue to move on to stage 3. Here is where you're going to add in your users. If you're a sole trader and don't have employees, you can tick this option to skip this stage. If you have multiple employees, you do have the option to download a template and import a file to make the process easier and quicker. Alternatively, you can just select Add User, enter the user's email address and select whether you wish to add them as admin. You can also send email invitation to users inviting them to set up Sage Expenses. This is ticked as default, but if you wish to do this later, you can do this from the Users tab in the admin panel. Once you've added all your users you want at this stage, click Continue. In the final stage of the setup process, you can select an approver. As default, no approver shows. When you go to the drop-down, you can select from your users that you've added. Additionally, you don't have to be an admin user to be an approver. Depending on your package, in Premium, there are more advanced settings in the approval section in the admin panel. If you're happy to proceed, click Finish Setup. You can either go straight into creating expenses, or you can go into Admin View. I will now show you where you can find more advanced settings. Here is your dashboard. Down the left you will see the option for users. This is where you can edit existing or add additional users to the platform. If you wish to edit or add more categories, head to Settings on the left and then in the drop-down, go to Expense Management. Here you will see the section which is quite similar to the Setup Wizard, and along the top you will see Expense Categories. This is where you can amend existing or add additional categories. If you want to add in departments, head over to the Dimensions tab, click the 3 dots and select Edit Configuration. In the default drop-down, select Departments. At the bottom of this section, do the same for mapping to reporting by also selecting Departments. Then click Save. If you wish to add additional approvers or add approval structure, you can do this from the Policy and Approvals tab. In the Policy tab, you also have the option to upload policy documents that explain the company expense policies to your employees. And finally, if you want to add reminders in for your users to prompt them to complete their expenses, you can do this from the Reminders tab by clicking the Add Reminder. You can add in a custom title, a message, when you want the reminder to be sent, whether you want it to be recurring, and who you wish the reminder to be delivered to. You're now ready to start logging expenses in the web app. Let's head over to Tyler, who will demonstrate the mobile app and how it works.
We'll start the overview from the employee perspective. The moment you swipe your linked card, the app is already at work, automatically creating a draft expense for you. No more manual data entry or forgotten purchases. Let's tap the notification to open it. To capture the receipt, you can use your camera or select a photo already saved on your phone. The app syncs card data with the receipt for double verification of the purchase. The advanced OCR scanner analyzes the image instantly, reducing errors. The merchant's name, category, and total, including VAT, are added automatically. We'll also see the exchange rate, for this is an overseas expense. Simply click Add Entertainment Details to include your participants. As you can see, we can enter the name and company for each of your guests. If you are hosting a larger group, you can save time by attaching a full participant list instead. This makes the process quick, easy, and fully compliant. With the guests added, we indicate that this was paid privately. Review the report to ensure everything is correct. Then click Save to keep it as a draft. The draft is now visible under the To Do tab. Let's click the plus icon to create a different type of expense. Now, for mileage tracking, accuracy is everything here. We'll start by adding a brief description of our trip. Then we can specify the dates for the travel using the Easy Calendar view. Now we'll enter the route by adding our origin, Gatwick Airport. Notice how when we type, the Google Maps integration suggests locations. We'll then add Manchester as our destination. Once both points are set, the app instantly calculates the exact distance, so you never have to worry about manual tracking. You can adjust the distance manually if you want, or use the toggle for a round trip to update the total. This ensures you are reimbursed at the correct rate. Your mileage report is now ready, featuring a detailed summary and a map visualization of the route. You can even zoom in on the map for a closer look. After a final review, simply click Submit. Next, we'll create a scale rate report, often referred to as per diem. This process is very similar to what we just saw. We'll start by adding a clear description, followed by the specific travel details. Notice how easy it is to enter the exact dates and times for both the start and end of your journey. The system uses these precise details to automatically calculate your allowance, staying up to date with current tax regulations. Select which meals were included using the simple toggles. The system calculates your allowance automatically in real time based on these selections. Once finished, click Save. Review the full report, including the meal summary, all looks correct. Then click Submit for approval. To wrap up our reporting, let's head back to our drafts and open the initial card transaction from the beginning. Everything has been verified, so after one final glance to ensure all the details are in order, we'll hit Submit. Just like that, we've reached expense zero with a completely empty to-do list. Now, let's switch roles and see how this looks for an approver. The To-Do tab shows all pending claims. Simply toggle Group by Employee to get a much clearer and organized overview of your tasks. Reviewing is fast and transparent. You can inspect receipt photo directly or check the full PDF summary if you need to dive into finer details. If something is incorrect, you can easily reject the report. Adding a reason ensures the employee knows exactly how to correct and resubmit the expense. Moving to the scale rate report, everything looks correct, so we'll simply approve it. Lastly, we'll review the mileage report. The map and summary PDF look good, so we'll approve this one as well. And that's it. Our to-do list is now empty. Rejected tasks are found in the Rejected tab, while all completed approvals are under Approved. And that's expense management in Sage Expenses. Faster, smarter, and completely paperless for both the employee and the.
Okay, so once your expense reports have been submitted and approved, the final step as admin user is posting those transactions in Sage 50 accounts. You can also choose to sync automatically where Sage 50 pulls in new transactions at the frequency that you set, or you can manually download them whenever you're ready. This gives you complete control over when those expenses hit your accounts. And if something doesn't look right later on, you have the flexibility to reverse those journals in your 50 accounts using the journal reversal option. So this process helps keep your accounts clean, accurate, and fully synchronized with what's happening in Sage Expenses. So let's have a look at the next demonstration of what it looks like when it pulls from Sage Expenses web app into your 50 accounts software. Again, do keep your questions coming throughout the session as well.
Once an expense has been submitted in Sage Expenses, it can either go through an approval step or move straight to administrator review before being sent to Sage 50 accounts. In this video, you'll learn how an admin user reviews expenses in the Sage Expenses web app and sends the data to Sage 50 accounts. First, log in to the Sage Expenses web app as an admin user, then from the navigation panel, click Reports. To review an expense in more detail, click on it. To compare the details to the receipt, move your mouse over the image. To view the full expense report, click View Report in browser. Administrators can also edit the expense at this stage. For example, to correct details, split an expense across different nominal codes, or assign a department. To do this, click the Edit icon. Expenses can be sent individually or in bulk. To send an expense individually from the Manage Report drop-down, choose Send Expense Report. To confirm and send the expense, click Send. Alternatively, from the three dots menu, choose Send Expense Report. You are returned to the Ready to Send list and the expense moves to the Transfer tab. The Transfer tab is a holding area, where expenses stay until the data has been synchronized with Sage 50 accounts. To send expenses in bulk, return to the Ready to Send tab and select the checkbox for the relevant expenses. Alternatively, to select all expenses, select the checkbox at the top of the list. Now, from the Manage Reports drop-down, choose Send Reports, then click Send. The selected expenses move to the Transfer tab. Once a manual or automatic data sync has been complete, the Transfer tab is removed. The expenses move to the Sent tab, and the transactions are added to the audit trail in Sage 50 accounts. Let's look at this now. First, log in to Sage 50 accounts, then from the navigation panel, click Transactions. The expenses appear in the audit trail as journal entries, with each part of the expense shown as a separate journal line. For an expense where VAT cannot be reclaimed, a journal debit is posted to the expense nominal code, and a journal credit is posted to the payment method. For an expense where VAT can be reclaimed, a journal debit is posted to the expense nominal code with the net amount. A journal debit is posted to the purchase tax control account with the VAT amount. And a journal credit is posted to the payment method with the gross amount. Any expenses posted from Sage Expenses can be identified where the username column shows Sage Expenses. You've now learned how an administrator reviews expenses in the Sage Expenses web app and sends the data to Sage 50 accounts.
Okay, so that is the posting process of how it posts those journals into your 50 accounts software. Now, obviously, we've gone through this webinar today, we've gone through demonstration. And we do also have other ways and means in how you can learn the process. We always like to try and make our learning accessible as possible. So we've provided a guide on your handout there as well. So we've got the handout downloaded and further support. If you click on Get Started Guide, that's going to be an article that walks you through the process that we've gone through today. If you want to access a set of videos where you can do it in step-by-step, more detailed, we've got the Get Started videos on our Sage University. So you've got access to those as well. You can share those with your colleagues if you want to share the process with them if they weren't able to attend today as well. Okay, so another thing that I put on your handout is some scenarios when processing in expenses for you to refer to at your own leisure. So I'm not going to go through these today, obviously, if we're coming close to the end of the webinar. So they are available for you in your handout to go through. Before we wrap up, it's worth highlighting that Sage Expenses is just one part of the Sage ecosystem designed to help you run your business more efficiently. We provide software that keeps you compliant, helping you stay on top of legislation and financial accuracy with confidence. You can process expenses on the go, whether you're in the office, traveling, or working remotely. Our tools let you capture receipts and invoices digitally, cutting down on paperwork and speeding up your processing. You can also track invoices easily, so you know what's outstanding. For financial visibility, Sage gives you cash flow forecasting and management reports and charts, helping you understand exactly how your business is performing at any moment. We also offer free online training and resources, just like today's session, along with a wide range of free courses available through Sage University. Finally, if you prefer tailored support, we also offer bespoke one-to-one training to help you get the most from your software. Okay, so we're coming to the end of today's session. When you exit the session, you'll see a short survey that will appear on your screen. Would really appreciate your feedback on today's session. What did you like? What would you have liked to have seen? What could we do better? It always helps us continue to improve our sessions that we deliver. And we always like to read every single comment that comes through for us as well. But if you've got what you need to do and want to leave the session, you will receive that email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recorded session for you to refer back to if needs be. Okay, so just while my colleagues pick up the last remainder of the questions, what I'll do is I'll wrap this session up. I want to say thank you to my colleagues who have been on hand today to answer your questions, and thank you to you all for your participation. Just a reminder, we've got over the next couple of weeks, we've got plenty of sessions, so don't be shy and get registered. So I want to say another thank you and take care.